What's going on, guys? Manny Vibes here with another video, and in this video I took a trip to Disneyland. I'll be showing you guys some of the things I did and also be talking about some interesting facts about Disneyland that I didn't know about and I bet you guys didn't know about. For the first ride, we went on a water ride. Here's some clips of what that looked like. This ride is called Finding Nemo. It was under the water in a submarine and we were trying to look for Nemo. Here's a picture of what the outside of it looked like. It's really cool how they added sound from the movie. It kind of made me feel like I was a part of it. The ride lasted about 15 minutes. Now moving on to an interesting fact about Disneyland, the invention of Doritos. I was 2 years old when I found out Doritos were invented at Disneyland. They were made at the Casa de Fritos at Disneyland in Anaheim, California during the 1960s. I always thought Disneyland was just a place where families would go and visit and have fun, but it was interesting to find out that they invented a snack that lots of people enjoy eating. Personally, I don't really like Doritos. Comment down below what your favorite type of chip to eat is. I wasn't able to go on the roller coaster because it kept breaking down, and at one point I seen someone coming off of it on a stretcher. So it happened to be on the same day where 20 people got stuck on that roller coaster, so luckily I wasn't on it. I ended up going on the Ferris wheel instead, and the view from up there was nice. Disneyland is known as the happiest place on earth, but did you guys know that it has a dark history behind it? I'll be playing some audio from Rebecca. Make sure to check out her TikTok. Rebecca, what can you tell us about the history of Disneyland?
These are the top 9 most unusual deaths in Disneyland. These are also in chronological order. Number 1. In June of 1966, 19-year-old Thomas Guy Cleveland from California was killed on one of Disney's grad nights when he tried to sneak in the park by scaling the park fence and then climbing the monorail track. His plan was to climb down once he was inside of the park. Security guards saw him and screamed at him to get down because there was a monorail train coming, but he didn't get down fast enough. Instead, he climbed down into one of these little plastic canopies, but it didn't give him enough clearance. So when the next monorail train came, it did unfortunately hit him, and he was drugged for about 30 to 40 feet. Number 2, in June of 1973, 18-year-old Bodkin Bellerot and his 10-year-old little brother decided to hide from the cast members and stay on Tom Sawyer's Island past closing time. When they got bored a few hours later and decided to return to the main park, they decided the best way to get there would be to swim back in the 10-foot deep river with the little brother on top of Bodkin's back. A maintenance boat found the little brother 8 hours later. He'd managed to survive by doggy paddling, but Bodkin's body would be found the next day in a rapid section of the Rivers of America. Number 3, in July of 1974, 18-year-old Deborah Stone, a new cast member from California, was crushed to death in the America Sings ride. All of the pictures I can find of this ride are super freaking creepy. But she was crushed to death after sliding between a revolving wall and a stationary platform. The ride had just opened, so it was unclear if this was due to a lack of training or if it was an accident, but either way, the ride was closed for 2 days and warning lights and breakaway walls were installed because of this incident. Number 4, in August of 1979, 31-year-old Cheryl Hoffman, also from California, her and her family were riding Space Mountain. During the ride, Cheryl began feeling very sick, so when the rocket returned to the station, the cast members were trying to get her out, and they tried to signal to the ride operator to get her off, but the ride operator didn't understand the signals and actually sent her back through again. And so when her rocket returned the second time, she was actually unconscious. She was taken to a hospital where she was in a coma for a week before she passed away. Autopsy later determined that Cheryl had a tumor in her heart which was dislodged during the ride, and fragments of that tumor had traveled to her brain, which killed her. Her family did file a lawsuit against Disney, which they later voluntarily dismissed.
Suicide is also another reason why people die at Disneyland. There have been incidents where people kill themselves or they jump off of tall buildings. I then headed out to Cars Land and I rode some rides that were based on the movie Cars. I really enjoyed these rides. They were really fun, not gonna lie.